Welcome to Tradies Who Lead, the podcast about everyday leadership for everyday legends. I'm Ashley Beltecki, a diesel mechanic by trade and your host. On the podcast, we share how every tradie can practice leadership in their role, regardless of their title or experience. In each episode, you'll hear from tradies across all industries about how they apply leadership skills and mindsets in the trades so that we can learn from them and level up our leadership on site. In this episode, we cover the power of self-discipline, leading from the front, and the mindsets that help us succeed. Today's guest is someone who doesn't just talk about opportunity, he builds it, one tradie at a time. Les Wikiriwhi is the founder of Stand-Up Recruitment, a Trans-Tasman recruitment company that helps Kiwi tradies relocate to Oz for better pay, a better lifestyle, and a better future. Before building Stand-Up, Les spent years on the tools across New Zealand and Australia, learning firsthand how discipline, sacrifice, and belief shape the kind of leader you become. Les is known for his straight-up leadership style, his obsession with breaking generational cycles, and his commitment to creating real outcomes for tradies and workplaces. He's lived the same early starts, the same pressure, and the same head-down, get-it-done reality most tradies know well. And he leads from the front, disciplined, consistent, and willing to do the hard things that most people avoid. After helping hundreds of tradies make the move across the ditch, Les brings a rare mix of lived experience, honesty, and practical insight. He's walked the path himself. He knows what's at stake when people choose change, and he's committed to helping tradies back themselves and take the next step. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today, Les.
No worries.
Now, the first question I ask all my guests is, what does leadership mean to you?
Leadership means to me is setting the example, being the one that leads from the front for your team, not stepping aside when things get heavy. This is just a little bit of an example. The other day, I had a problem in my business and I was worried about it. And one of my team members saw that I was worried about it. And I could see in that moment that they were getting worried about it. And that kind of taught me something right there about leadership, that no matter how heavy, no matter how much worries, struggles, or whatever's happening, as a leader, I need to take that burden on and not pass it down to my team. Now, that doesn't mean just in work. That's as a parent. That's as a family member, a brother. Like, if I want to be a leader, which I do want to be, and I want to be an effective one, no matter how heavy that burden is, I need to shoulder it, make clear decisions, and move forward for my team and not let them see me even struggling or worrying. If I need to go outside and talk to a mentor or whatever, unload there, do it in a safe place. But the people that I am leading, I cannot let them see me falter, because as a leader, your team is following you and counting on you to lead them into battle. And it's me stepping up, leading by example. I've had bosses before that have told me, oh, you got to go and do this and this. And when I look at them, I'm like, but you don't do that. There's no way I would follow you into a war. So my job is to go over that hill with the gun first and have a look. Clear, come over, guys. It's all clear. That's what leadership means to me.
It's really powerful how you've captured the impact that we can have, because you do have that leadership dynamic that if you set the example of I'm worried, then you do get people that will follow that's how they have to feel about a situation. And I like that you talk about the struggles and that it's not that you have to shoulder them alone and that you can't have these struggles, but it's about thinking, what's the impact I want to have? Who can I go to for support? And how do I put up a strong front for my team while still being transparent, but by making sure that they feel like they can rely on me and that I can stay cool, calm, and collected even when things might be tense.
100%. Like, you've got to stay cool, calm, and collected because they're all watching. Like I said too, leadership's not just work. Like, I know we're talking about tradies and work and that, but if you're a mum, if you're a father, like it or not, you're a leader, because your children are looking up to you to lead them through life, until they get of age and now they're off on their own journey. But you don't got to be the boss, a CEO or whatever. Everybody's a leader in their own right. And that is shouldering that responsibility and that burden. Everyone needs to unload it at some times, and you just need to find avenues. Either it's a mentor, it's a friend, it's mums or dads. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Now, you moved to Australia a few years ago before you've moved back home to New Zealand, and that was quite a difficult journey for you. What did those struggles teach you, and how did it shape how you show up as a leader and a person today?
I moved to Australia with my young family. We had 2 children under 3, and it was a real struggle. It was a real mission. We didn't know. We moved to Perth, which was furthest away, and it taught me family leadership, I suppose. We just spoke about if you're a mum or you're a father. I remember we moved into a house and it was a dump because we had booked it off the internet in New Zealand. We had a nice house in New Zealand, and when we moved there, we moved into this dump. And so I could feel that my children were uneasy, I suppose. And so in that moment, it was my duty to let them know it's all good, it's going to be okay, even though I didn't know what the heck was going to happen. So it taught me how to be a leadership for my family. And we pulled through, we made it work, and it all worked out eventually. So yeah. And having to make decisions without certainty, so as a leader in my business, I have to make decisions without all of the facts sometimes. Without 1 plus 1 doesn't always equal 2. So I've got to make decisions without complete certainty. But when I make that decision, that's it. Go for it. If it breaks, fix it quickly and go again. So that's what I had to do when I moved to Australia. I had to make decisions without all of the information and not being completely certain.
I think it captures a part of leadership that doesn't often get spoken about a lot, but I remember reading a book, and it was in the context of when you're speaking or when you're addressing people, and that people think that leadership is, I'm the person who's prepared the speech and I'm going to talk to a group of people. But often leadership is sometimes being unprepared and still being the person who has to shoulder that responsibility as well, which very much sounds like that's what you did for your family and often have to do in your business as well. I know that you now support people through that journey as well, which is probably the biggest decision a lot of people make in their lives. I know when my parents moved from New Zealand for their own reasons nearly 20 years ago, they left a lot of family and support networks behind. So having gone on that journey yourself, how does that shape how you show up as a leader for these people who you're now supporting on their next chapter and their adventure across the sea?
It's everything, because I've done it. It's easy to tell somebody, do this. Oh, have you done it? No. Well, why would I listen to you? I've been there. I've had young children. I've moved across the ditch. I've made all the mistakes. So I get to come back and share where I went wrong, the pitfalls, what to look out for, everything. So from experience, that's what it's helped me from. I've lived that. So now I get to help New Zealanders that are moving to Australia. I was passionate about moving home and helping my people be able to get across to Australia. I saw stats the other day that said 25% of New Zealanders that move to Australia move home because of poor planning. That's a huge number when we're talking 30, 40,000 moved across last year. 25% of them are moving home because of poor planning. That's what I eliminate. There's no teacher like experience. And I've experienced the good, the bad, the ugly from moving my young family over to Australia. And there's nothing like this in New Zealand that helps Kiwis that are moving to Australia prepare for all the pitfalls, for all the goods, the bads. It's not just the bads, but I want to let people know of the things that can go wrong. I don't want to make it all peaches and cream, because it's not. As those stats show, a lot of people move home. So as you said, your mum and dad moved across there. It's a big thing. It's one of the biggest things that most people would do. So I want to make that as stress-free as possible for Kiwis.
In terms of supporting those people, I imagine there's skills or mindsets that you recognize in the people that you work with who are probably the most successful, or they're maybe the quickest to adjust. What are the skills and mindsets that those people have that help them handle the pressure and, I guess, keep moving with the challenges that come from going into the unknown and not having certainty?
I don't know about skills and mindsets, but what it is, people are wanting a better future for their children. People come to me because they want better futures for themselves and their families. Australia has a lot of opportunities that New Zealand sometimes doesn't. New Zealand has been in a recession for the last couple of years, and it's been really hard over here for people. So the people that come to me, the ones that succeed over there and that succeed in making this trip across to Australia, are doing it not just for money purposes. They're doing it for a better reason. They want a better future for themselves. If they're moving by themselves, they want to upskill. They want a better future for them. Like I said, they want better schooling or maybe more resources, or they want to get onto jobs where they're going to be able to elevate their career.
It's very clear that having a really strong purpose to face those challenges is a really key driver in why they are able to be successful and face those challenges and overcome them.
Having a clear purpose on why you want to move, and it comes back to the planning as well. You've got to have a positive mindset in everything you do in life. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. But that's not, I wouldn't say that's a big, like, people with this mindset do better than people with this. People that plan ahead, that have goals, that's the people that succeed. It's not like people that have this mindset do better than, not really. I mean, if you've got a negative mindset, you're not going to do well in anything. You can't go anywhere until you change it. That's a negative mindset, right? It's like having a flat tire. You're not going anywhere until you've changed that negative mindset.
Yeah, that's a really great analogy. Now, I know that you're really passionate about doing the hard things early and being disciplined, and there's a lot of habits you have for yourself that obviously impact who you are as a person and how you show up. So how have those practices shaped who you are as a person and a leader?
Discipline and mindset changed my life. I come from a hard background and I was exposed to a lot of things as a young age. So I didn't know about having this mindset and discipline and how it can change you. And I found it by myself. I made lots of mistakes throughout my life. And I feel like that's, as a leadership, I feel like people aren't expecting you to be this perfect person. Like my whole team knows of my background and that, and they respect me more for being vulnerable and for letting them know the mistakes I've made. Not just being this perfect, I've got everything sorted out. No one's going to believe that anyway, because no one has it all sorted out. You know what I mean? So introducing discipline into my life completely changed my life. Morning routines, massive for me. I start off the day, ice bath. I wake up at 4 a.m, I ice bath, I stretch, I exercise. It's every single morning thing because I'm already on the front foot. I've already done hard things for the day. Whatever comes across, whatever I encounter for that day as a business owner, I put myself into a freaking ice bath at 4 a.m. every single morning in the middle of the Kiwi winter. Like, there's not much you can throw at me. It prepares me for the day going forward. And it's building discipline by forcing myself to do things that I don't want to do, right? And that trickles over into everything I do in my life. So if I don't want to do, if I've got my business things, I don't want to stay, late or do that, doesn't matter. I do it because I know I have to do it. So that's how I use my morning routines, and discipline and mindset. It goes into everything I do throughout my life, and parenting and my relationships. And people that knew me from 6-7 years ago, is black and white. It's just unrecognizable. And now I'm on a trajectory that I'm so excited about. I'm so excited about my life. It was a direct correlation that when I built self-discipline, everything opened up for me. I looked at the world differently. I wasn't so pessimistic anymore. I was optimistic. I'm looking at this like this, like, okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? Not like, oh, that's a problem. Like, just solution based. And that was all of building discipline and mindset.
Wow, that speaks volumes to how powerful that can be and transforming us as individuals so that we can be our best selves. You also touched on something that comes up a lot in the podcast, which I think challenges some of the traditional ideas we have around leadership, where we have to have the answers. We were talking about it before, where it was kind of like you were leading through experience, and that meant sharing the things that you did wrong and the mistakes you made and the lessons you learned on the way. But even then, you mentioned being vulnerable with your team and showing that you're a whole person, and that means you've made mistakes and there's parts that you're not proud of, but this is how you choose to show up and respond to that and still put your best foot forward every day. How powerful have you found that willingness to be vulnerable in terms of how you've built strong relationships with your team and how you then are able to work better as a collective towards your business goal?
Honestly, I reckon it's a bit of a secret sauce, a secret ingredient. A lot of my staff tell me that they haven't worked for anybody like me. And I think that it's massive for me. I show vulnerability. I tell them all the good, the bad. We're all human beings and we've all had experiences and made mistakes, but you learn from those. And that's how I run my business too. If mistakes are made, it's fine. What happened and why did it happen? We fix it and we move on. That's it. It's not, why about pointing fingers? And It's always my fault anyway, because I'm the leader. So I take full, complete ownership, extreme ownership of everything that happens in my company. If it goes wrong, it's on me. Why did it happen? It's only a people problem or a process problem. Okay, this has happened. Is it a process problem? Did we have the steps in? Oh no, we're missing a step there. Okay, fix that process, put that step in, we go again. Now that won't happen again. Or is it a people problem? Did the person not follow the process that we have in place? We've got that process in order for a reason. So did the person follow that process? And then it's my job to find out why not. Why did we not follow that process? Because that's there for a reason, to make sure that we don't make these mistakes. So it's pretty easy for me. It's when mistakes happens in our business, it's just, is it a people or process problem? Right, it's one of those two. Boom, we identify it, fix it, go again. There's no time for pointing fingers or blame games, or I don't have time for that. I'm trying to scale this thing really quickly, and with that comes, and I'm building something that hasn't been built. Like, there's nothing like this in New Zealand. So it's exciting, right? We've got no blueprint to follow. Like, other people have set this company. Oh yeah, what do they do? We haven't got a blueprint, which is exciting. I like it. It's really fun. But along those ways, it's not like mistakes have happened. It's like we're building something that's never been done. So that mistake is just showing us, get that fixed quickly and then go again. And that's how I run as an entrepreneur. I go 100 miles an hour until something breaks. I fix it and I go 100 miles an hour again. That's how I run, and that's how we run as a team.
I love that, because in that entrepreneur space, there's a lot of content out there that talks about those who succeed are those who fail fastest, and that we shouldn't be afraid of the failures because they are lessons, and they're, even I imagine engineers or mechanics, when we're fixing things, the thing that breaks, you go, that's now the weak link. Like, I've upgraded my tune-up. Oh, now my tail shaft snapped. I need to upgrade my tail shaft. It's so normal in that context. But unfortunately, in the trades, there's still a lot of people who don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves around mistakes, because I think somewhere along the way, we've all picked up this baggage that we might not be good enough at our job if we make a mistake, or that the failure is a bad thing, but it's actually not serving us to have that approach to mistakes. And if we can support the people that are looking up to us, but also ourselves, to embrace those mistakes, learn from them and move on, we will all be more effective in our roles and more successful in our life.
100%, Ashley. And it's a mindset shift. What, you're going to think you're just going to go through life and never make any mistakes or have any losses, or how will you learn? And for starters, that's impossible. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's all the greats, all the people that have been successful. It's just lessons. But that's a mindset shift, because you didn't used to look at it like that. I used to like, I've mucked up and now I've got to go back and fit. No. It's just teachers. It's just a lesson. Fix it quickly and go again. Basic. So that's how we run here, and it seems to be working.
You're passionate about breaking generational cycles in the trades. We often have a reputation for a culture that has been passed down through the generations. What are the actions that can help us actually shift this cycle?
Leadership comes back to, it starts at the top. If these supervisors and that are encouraging that toxic environment, or pretty much starting the toxic environment, like, it just all runs down. So it's a leadership thing. It's not putting up with any of that. It's not allowing it to fly. Everything starts at the top. I've had some terrible supervisors in my time, and superintendents that have set the whole culture, and it's bad, and no one's enjoying work and no one's enjoying coming, and it's like walking on eggshells. And it's like, would you talk to people like that out in the street if we weren't in this work environment? I don't think you would. Because for starters, you said that to the wrong person, you might be in massive trouble. And some of these people in high positions, they misuse their power. They misuse it a lot. And so they don't even have self-discipline over themselves. And then they're in these leadership roles now, and it's a very different one. And I don't think that a lot of them would talk to people or treat people like they do if it was a normal person out in the street. But somehow we've normalized that if it's in work, it's okay to speak to people like crap. It's okay to treat the laborers or the apprentices like that. No, it's not, because they're human beings as well. And you wouldn't treat that human being like that if it was a person at the supermarket that you were going to get some bread from or something. So how have we normalized letting people in positions in power talk to maybe someone that's starting off in a bad way or treating them like crap? I don't understand that. Anybody that comes into my business, whether you're the bottom level or the top level, all treated the same, all respected, and all everybody's opinions are validated, and that's it. So that's how I think it can be changed, starting at the top. And some of those people taking accountability.
I really like that you talk about the fact that we sometimes have people in leadership positions who don't practice leadership. For them, it is just a title, and that's often because the leadership doesn't start from within, and they're not thinking about how am I leading myself? How do I impact other people? What is my impact and my influence? And that's where, when I talk about practicing leadership in the trades, with or without the title, we can lead ourselves and take responsibility for our impact and responsibility for our influence, because that's about how we show up in the workplace and in our teams and in our lives. It's not about our title. That comes right at the end. But often if you've got that person who just has a title and they haven't addressed those kind of inner layers of leadership and responsibility, their leadership is hollow. And that's where we can have really difficult dynamics that obviously don't have a great impact on team culture and well-being.
100%. How can you lead other people if you can't even lead yourself? You can't. And that's why, like all this trade, it all comes back to building your own self-discipline and leading yourself first. If you're breaking promises to yourself on a daily, if you said, I'm going to go to the gym, and then it gets to 6 p.m., you say, nah, I'm not going to. You're just eroding your confidence. You can't even lead yourself. You can't even keep your own promises to yourself. How the heck are you going to go out and lead 50 men, 50 girls, women and men? How? You can't even listen to your own advice. You're breaking your own promises to yourself daily. So I think that's a big one. It starts with being able to lead yourself. You cannot lead a team if you can't lead yourself. And that's self-accountability and that's self-discipline.
At the risk of being repetitive, which I don't think is a bad thing, repetition is great for learning and communicating a message. But what is your advice to tradies, whether they're apprentices, tradespeople or business owners, about how they can practice leadership every day?
Just what I just said. Master yourself first. Don't worry about getting into a supervising position if you can't even keep the promises that you made to yourself. It's ridiculous. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead anybody else. I cannot imagine the leader that I would have been 10 years ago. Oh my God, I would have been a mess. I would have gotten a bit of power. I'm lucky I didn't get any of that, because I would have been a terrible leader, because I couldn't even keep the promises that I made to myself. How am I going to go and lead these people and them look up to me and think, I trust him. We're going to run through walls for you. I wouldn't even run through the wall for myself. So to all apprentices or anybody that's thinking about leadership, wanting to get into leadership roles, do not worry about it until you can lead yourself, until you can keep the promises that you've made to yourself.
That's really powerful. You've shared both how to put your best foot forward and how important that self-discipline and keeping promises to yourself is to be a leader for yourself, but still be a whole person. Don't shy away from the mistakes or the lessons or the things we're not proud of, because we're all people and we're not perfect, but being our best is enough. I know that listeners will get a lot out of the conversation we've had today, Liz.
I hope so, Ashley. And yeah, it's been awesome to talk to you. So thank you for having me on. And everyone go be the best leader that you can be. If you're just a father or a mother, you're a leader. You're a leader, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you're a leader. So go lead your family, go lead anybody that's, thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another tradie sharing how they practice leadership in the trades. If you enjoyed this episode with Liz, hit like, subscribe to Tradies Who Lead, or follow us on socials for more everyday legends from the podcast.